Hi everybody. Would you like to start business management and with accounting and finance class, week 5? We have two goals for today. The first one is I want you to fill in all the assumption numbers in revenue and costs in the first year. And second, I want you to complete blank main sheet format so that we can start simulation exercises from next week. Okay, we have 4 steps today. The first step is, here is the revenue or sales assumptions. You get all those assumptions from your sales and the marketing department. The first one, I want you to develop detailed sales assumptions in line with the following information shared by the marketing team. As you can see, we have 4 types of the product, A through D. And the sales estimation is the price, the sales unit, in terms of the sales unit, and the estimation is between 1,500 and 3,000 per year, per product type, and per outlet. So I want you to pick up some numbers from this estimation, and I want you to put these numbers into your assumption sheet. An estimated price range is, as you can see there, they are not the same by product. But again, this is just a suggestion. So you can change, or you can change the estimation or suggestions. So you can choose any numbers you like. You do not stick to very specific number at this point of time, as we can change these numbers for simulation purpose. So just simply put one number for each cell in your assumption sheet. And second, I want you to calculate the total number of cells and the average unit price on your assumption sheet. But I want to give you some notice, especially about unit price. You definitely need total sales number plus unit price of the product. You multiply those two numbers to get the total revenue or total sales amount. It's quite easy to get total sales number. You can just sum up all the numbers by product, by outlet. But the issue is how you can calculate average unit price. This is not that easy. Okay, let's look at it together. You need to apply the concept of a weighted average here. Before talking about the actual numbers, let's review what weighted average is. I'm sure some of you were not familiar with the concept weighted average or this index itself. Okay, let's take a simple example. This matrix represents the total sales unit, total number of sales and the price by product. For example, for product A, you sold 10 units of the product A, and for price 100 Japanese yen. And you can see those numbers for product B and the C. The simple question is, what is the average price of all those 3 products? I want you to get just one single number which shows the average of the price. If you are asked about what is your average price of your product as a whole, not just one specific product, how can you answer the question? If you listen to the term average, you can come up with a simple average. which you can see in the middle of this slide. 100 plus 120 plus 150 divided by 3 because you have 3 types of products, which comes up to 123, 123. This is a simple average. But again, is this a real average number for total product? What do you think? If you look at number of units sold, this is the number of the sales. They are not the same by product. Product A is 10. For product B, it is 100. So you cannot just simply unit price of each product and divide it by 3 is not appropriate, simply because you have different number of units sold by product. If you sold just one unit or the same sales number of unit by product, then yes, you can simply just add all those prices and then divide by 3. But okay, let's look at the weighted average. This is a formula. You divide total amount by total number. In this case, you need to calculate total sales amount. Sales amount means revenue amount, and then divide it by total number sold. How can you calculate it? I put the number below. In this case, 10 times 100. This is total sales amount of product A. And next, plus 100 times 120. This is total sales of product B. Plus 50 times 150. This is for product C. So if you sum up all those three numbers, the calculation result, then this shows the total sales amount, which is revenue, total revenue. And what is the total number sold? It is easy. 10 plus 100 plus 50. So the result would be around 128. 5 yen higher than the simple average. And in this case, weighted average is the right answer to the question. Do not use simple average. Again, the reason is simple. Because the number of units sold, sales are not the same for each product. That's the reason. So don't misuse the formula to get the right average. So let's continue the discussion about weighted average. In your spreadsheet, how can you calculate the weighted average? Let's use my example. Let's look at the cell E21. You can simply manually add up all the sales the revenue amount of the product A of outlet A and product A in outlet B, product A in outlet C. So you can repeat how many times? 6 times 4. So you can repeat this exercise 24 times. You multiplied 2 cells one from number of sales, one from unit price, and you can repeat it 24 times. Then you can get total revenue and then divide by total number of sales, which is in the cell E10. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. If you look at the first, the upper matrix, this matrix shows the number of sales by product, by outlet. So if you add up all the numbers, you get grand total sales number of units. If you use Excel function, you can use this one, sum function. Simply, you can choose the range of the data from B3 to E8. And then you can get the total number of cells in cell E10. And look at the matrix in the middle, which shows unit price by product by outlet. So the issue is you do not get just average, so don't use the function, Excel function average, as I explained in the previous slide. Here you need to get weighted average. How can you do that? Again, you can repeat the multiplication 24 times, but instead, let's use a simple function. You can rely on the Excel feature. Here you can use some product function. Here, as you can see in the cell E21, I apply some product function followed by just typing in some product. Then you can put two ranges of the data. First one is from number of cells E3 to E8 and put comma after this. And then next choose B14 to E19. That shows sum means adding, product means multiplication. If you put this function, then you can get total sales revenue amount. This function realizes this very complicated and time-consuming calculation. B3 times B14 plus B4 times B15 times B5 times B16 plus B6 times B17, blah, blah, blah. So this is, you need to do it 24 times. But if you use this some product function, that's it. And then finally, again, this is just the total sales revenue, so you have to divide this number by E10. What's E10? E10 is the total number of sales. So just slash means the divide, slash E10, and then press the enter button. Then you just get weighted average in the cell E21. Okay, and then COGS stands for cost of goods sold. In my case, I just use the simple total of the COGS. So just I use some function here for cells E26 and to get the total COGS. So this is how you can get weighted average, how you can get total number of cells. So please make sure you fully understand what the weighted average is, what the difference from simple average. Now let's move on to the step 2. This is cost assumption. Again, you can read the suggestion from the marketing team again about COGS. This is a cost to make the product. They say 60 to 90% of unit price for each product. This is the direct cost, the COGS, to produce your products. But again, as we discussed last week, the key question here is what does your COGS include in your business scope? Sometimes it can, yes, it definitely includes material costs and labor costs at the factory, and probably machine running cost at the factory, and logistic cost. Again, you can include it or you can exclude it, and you can put in as the independent cost items, or you can just simply put together in the COGS. And the machine maintenance cost, and what else? The goal is not you find a right answer, but instead you have to make your own story. You have to justify, you include everything somewhere in your cost assumptions. And I want you to calculate the total product cost And I want you to consider we already discussed last week. What else do you have for other possible indirect costs? And if you have some cost items, yes, feel free to add extra lines and put your estimation numbers for those items. And next, this is step 3. Once you complete revenue assumption with some assumed numbers and cost assumption with cost numbers, the next step is I want you to complete just a format without any numbers. Main sheet. Here is a very simple example. This is my case. Starting with total sales line, that's line 2, and then below the total sales, I put number of units sold. This is total number and unit price. As you can see, I shift one line to the right simply because total sales shows the result of the following two lines. Number of units sold times unit price is total sales. As you can see, the F line, I put the formula I needed for my case, for my format. As you can see, the line 2 is the result of a multiplication of line 3 and 4. So that's why in order to highlight how you calculate what is the total, what is the component of that line, I encourage you, this is not a requirement, I strongly encourage you to make some structure in your format to show what is the inclusive relations in your sheet. As such, you can see the cost lines in line 6. I have 3 components. This is too much simple, but I have only 3 items. One is COGS. The other one is indirect cost. The last one is other expenses. So the basic formula for the total cost is just total of these 3 lines. As you can see, line 6, I put the formula equal F7 plus F8 plus F12 because I have 3 major items. When you look at indirect cost, this is simply labor cost. So labor cost comes from number of the people and unit labor cost. So maybe I can shift this to line more to the line D probably, but I just keep this simple. The total labor cost is the multiplication of number of people and unit labor cost. So I put the formula to show this in the F9 cell. And lastly, the profit. Profit comes is put in the bottom, and you can see the simple formula. This is total revenue, total sales minus cost. That's it. So the goal is I want you to make this format with the lines for revenue, lines for cost, and I want you to put a necessary formula only for the first year. In my case, that's fiscal year 2021 in a row F. So this is the goal of step 3. I want you to do the same, but I'm sure you have different cost items or cost assumptions. But maybe you have the same items for the revenue or cost sales side. And again, I suggest you to show the basic structure by shifting one line and how to show how you calculate, how you use the formula to get the total number. This is the final step of this week. I want you to connect two seats, which are main seat and assumption seat. Once you put some numbers on assumption seat, you may get some total like number of sales or average unit price or total COGS. Main seat, which we will use for business planning and future prediction and simulation exercises. We will not directly look at assumption sheets. This is just base data. The main sheet is something we will use mainly from next week. So you need the calculation result in assumption sheet somewhere in main sheet as well. So I will demonstrate how to do it, but it's just simple. Put equal sign in the certain cell. In this case, okay, let's take an example. F3, that's number of units sold, total number of units sold. So this comes from the cell E10 in assumption sheet. So I put equal sign in F3 on main sheet and go to assumption sheet and click the cell E10 and press enter button. That's it. Then you can see the same number on your main sheet. And once you change the number in assumption sheet, the numbers on the main sheet will automatically change as well. So I want you to make a connection between the two sheets so that once you change some numbers in your assumption, then you can get automatically the changed result on your main sheet. Yes, let's demonstrate. Let me demonstrate how to do it after this video. Again, today's goal is you complete everything from step 1 to 4. If you cannot do it, complete it by the end of the class this week, this is the assignment for next week.